All right. Emails this week. Got two emails came in from two women. First one. Hi, Mr. Roosevelt. Great show, but I bet your dick is not as big as you say it is. Miss Katie. P.S. Send me a pic and prove your size. Well, Miss Katie, I'm not going to send a pic of my dick. And, I never said that my dick was, like John Holmes or anything, like 13 inches. I never bragged on my dick. In any episode that I can remember, I was always honest. I said that I didn't have the biggest dick in the world, but I will tickle your tonsils. That's what I said. I mean, everyone that listens to the show can attest to that. And I will tickle your tonsils. If I put my dick in your mouth, your tonsils will be tickled. So instead of sending a picture, Miss Katie, I tell you what, if you ever come to Miami and you email me and we get together, I will prove it to you. Let me put my dick in your mouth, and if it tickles your tonsils, then you have to apologize for what you just said. If it doesn't, then I have to buy you dinner. We'll go to Flanagan's or something, and I'll buy you some wings and maybe a pitch of beer or something. But, not sending a pic, but I would be willing to prove it that way. Second email. Hi, Roosevelt. I think your show is very entertaining. However, sometimes I think you just being mean. For example, I have kids, and you said you wouldn't date women with kids. That's just mean. But I like your show. Melissa B. Well, Melissa, I'm sorry that you think that I'm mean. I don't mean to be or come across as being mean. Just being honest. I choose to not, I don't have kids. So I choose to not date women with kids because it's kind of not fair to me. At least that's what I think. I'm coming from a single life to jumping into a Brady Bunch or some shit. And I'm just not willing to do that. And it's my right. It's my, that's my right to do so. I don't have to do that. I don't have to date women with kids. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest. And I think that a woman should appreciate that honesty, instead of me just telling you anything just to get the pussy, and me, knowing that, I'm never going to marry you, never going to get with you because of your kids. So I don't think I'm being mean. I think I'm being nice, on the contrary. But, don't look at it as being mean. Look at it as being honest, And for every guy like me who won't date kids, or women with kids, there are guys out there that will date women and be happy and more willing to date women like yourself with kids. And be glad to take on those little bastards, those kids as their own. So don't think I'm being mean. Just look at it as being honest. Oh my goodness. You listen to the X and Y show. It starts now.
It's time for the X and Y show. With your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings, and greetings. Buenos noches from Miami on this Cinco de Mayo day. Hope you're all having a good time on this Friday. Cinco de Mayo fell on Friday. That's awesome. Usually it falls on a Wednesday or Tuesday or some shit, but it fell on a Friday. So hopefully you're listening to this show butt naked with some wine, some tacos, and you're listening to what I have to say. You're going to take it in, then you're going to drink that wine, and you're going to start fucking. Hopefully that's what you're going to start doing after you listen to my show. I miss you guys. It's been a week since I've talked to you. It's a long week. And I really miss you guys. I love talking to you. It's almost like you're my brothers and sisters, older brothers, younger brothers, older sisters, younger sisters. Some of you, maybe mothers and fathers. But I love you all. And I miss you. I really do. So, every Friday I really look forward to speaking with you on a topic. And I hope that you find it entertaining. And I hope that you come back week by week and let me know anything that you would like me to talk about. I'll be glad to do so. So, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode. Why do women expect all men to be handy? Again, why do women expect all men to be handy? Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, a lot of women seem to want to be with men who are good with their hands. Plumbing, fixing shit. Like a handyman and shit. He can fix shit around the house, electricity, do tiling, do masonry, all kind of shit. Carpentry. Men who are good with their hands. It seems like these days, women, that's like one of the things that they almost require when they're looking for a potential mate. Which I think is a lot of bullshit. But nevertheless, a lot of women do look for men who are good with their hands. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking guys who are good with their hands. Hey, that's good. Good for you. If you can build a birdhouse, good for you. If you can fix a toilet, good for you. I'm not putting guys down for that. That's good. I wish I knew how to do it. And don't get me wrong, I know how to work with my hands. Simple shit. Actually I can fix a toilet. I change the oil and shit like that. But when you're talking about laying towel and cutting out new cabinets and doing electricity work, fuck that. Shit. No, I'm not going to do that. And don't want to do it. Fuck that. Well, why should I have to do it? I'm no less of a man because I can't do it. I'm still a man. Long as I see the shit get done, that's what's important. It's not about doing it myself. Well, so I'm talking to the ladies. I'm talking about the single ladies, and I'm talking to the married women as well. A lot of married women give a lot of men a lot of shit because they can't do shit around the house. Which I think is a bunch of bullshit. Women need to come off that shit. Sometimes women need to really shut the fuck up and appreciate what they have. Just because you don't have a man that's good for working with his hands, but he sees that the shit gets done, that's what's important. If he's a dude that, sees that something needs to get done and don't see that it gets done, then you can complain. Then you have a legitimate gripe. But if he's a man that is not good with his hands, like me, but he sees that something needs to be done, and he gets it done. He pays somebody, and you get it done. Who gives a fuck who does the work, as long as it gets done? But a lot of women are still not satisfied. A lot of women still complain. And I'll get into that a little later. I read a book by Booker T. Washington long time ago. Long time ago. And I remember in the book, Booker T. Washington, Mr. Booker T. Washington, very smart man. He was the first president at Tuskegee University. He was a very intelligent man, and you should go out and read all of his books. Booker T. Washington, very wise man. I read a book, and at the time when I was reading it, and I only read it basically because the professor made us read it. But anyway, I'm glad I read it because it's still relevant to today. And basically, in that book, Booker T. Washington, due to the slaves achieving or getting their freedom, one of his main concerns was that they would lose the industrial skills over time, which basically means they would forget how to work with their hands. Farming, fixing equipment on the farm, cooking for you women, anything that was of the industrial or more of working with your hands. He was afraid that, particularly the black race, because they weren't in slavery anymore, would lose the ability to work with their hands. And I think that kind of correlates to what I'm talking about today. It's still, and I'm not dealing with just, black people. I'm dealing with everybody, and particularly men in particular, because I believe that the ability to work with your hands is generational. I think it's generational. Back in the 1700s, the 1800s, early 1900s, even up till the 1960s, men had to be handy with their hands. They had to know how to fix stuff and, do all kind of shit. Because, they really couldn't afford to pay somebody, unless you was really balling. They really couldn't afford to pay somebody to do the work. And education levels were lower and less common. So they knew how to work with their hands. They were more handy back then. And I'm talking about the earlier generations, as far as my grandfather and my father, even, and generations before that. So I think that it is generational. I think that back in the day, you had to know how to work with your hands. But now, as education has become more common, I think that, being able to work with your hands is less common. By men becoming more educated, they put down the physical labor and, all the stuff that is more labor intensive, to more stuff that is not labor intensive, like accounting, banking, teaching, etc. Like myself, shit. I remember seeing my dad work around the house, and he was a pretty handy guy. My dad knew how to fix a lot of shit. And I knew at an early age that I wasn't going to be doing that shit. Fuck that. And my mom was on him a lot of times. You need to fix that. You need to fix that. And my dad would fix it. He fix it in his own time, but he'll fix it. I was looking at him a lot of days. I'm like, damn, I don't want to do that. So, I said that, I want to go to college and become more educated, so I won't have to work with my hands so much or as much as my father did. And what's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that. That's just me. That's just a purpose. And it's not just me. I'm talking about, when I say me, I'm talking about my generation. Because most of the guys I know are not handy these days, which a lot of women are complaining about. That men are not as handy as their fathers or grandfathers were. And they have a point, because a lot of guys are not as handy. And I just explained it to you that, it's a different generation, different time. Guys are more educated now, or they have jobs where they're making more money and they're not as handy with their hands. They just pay somebody to do the work that's needed. And, like I said in the introduction, as long as the work get done, who gives a fuck who does it? But still, a lot of women still complain. Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? And I want you to do this. I want you to do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. Who gives a fuck? Long as he pays to have it done, or gets someone to get it done, who gives a fuck who does it? Long as the work's done. But still, a lot of women are not satisfied. A lot of women are not pleased. But anyway, get back to my dad. My dad was a pretty handy guy. He fixed a lot of shit around the house. A lot of shit. I mean, he fixed everything. I mean, and he would have fixed more, but he worked full time. So he, sometimes he would get somebody to do it. But most of the time, I would say like 85% of the time, he would fix shit around the house. And I remember as a little boy looking at him fixing shit. Like getting down and fixing, doing plumbing and doing little plastering work and all kind of, fuck that. And I was thinking as a little boy, I'm not going to be doing that shit. So I wasn't interested in learning from my father. I watched him, just curiosity, like, what he doing and stuff. But, I go back to watching cartoons, I wasn't interested because I knew that wasn't for me. That wasn't for me, And you can call it laziness, or you can call it whatever you fuck you want to call it. But I just knew that it was something that I didn't want to do when I became big. When I became a grown up. It was something that till this day. I'm still not doing that. I went another route. I became more educated, and so I can get jobs where I can afford to pay someone to do it for me. So it wasn't that I was doing the work, but as long as I was able to get the work done, that's what's important. It's not who does the work, ladies. As long as the shit get done. So women, I think you should stop measuring a man's worth on what they can do with their hands. That's the most bullshit I've ever heard of. And so many women do that today. And all women of all races. Black women, white women, Asian women. You don't want to work. You don't want to work like my father. Even the Asian women be on me. All women. Seems like if they don't have a man or a guy that don't do things with his hands, like carpentry or plumbing or whatever, something labor intensive, then somehow he's less of a man. And that's bullshit. Women, stop doing that. Stop doing that shit. I'll give you a perfect example. One time a woman that I was well, I wasn't really dating her. We had went out a couple times, but I knew it was bullshit because she would say a lot of stupid shit. So it was more like passing the time. Yeah. I knew when it wasn't going to materialize or anything, but I'm a nice guy, so I was going out with her. But anyway, she said some most dumb shit to me. Basically, she said to me one day, I really want a guy, when I marry a guy, I want someone who can work with their hands. I really, to be honest with you, I want somebody who can build me a house. That's what she said to me. She said, let me repeat that. Basically, she wants someone that can build her a house, and know how to fix her bathroom and all that bullshit. And I'm thinking to myself, let me start wasting my time with her. So if I knew how to build a house, what am I going to do? Go out in the middle of the woods and buy a patch of land and build a fucking log cabin? What the fuck am on? Why the fuck do I need to know how to build a house for? See, that's what kind of shit I'm talking about. Women set these standards for guys that is just full of shit, full of bullshit. The fuck I need to know how to build a house for? Not no fucking. Let me come down a little bit. Oh boy, let me come down a little bit. I don't mean to sound angry, but I admit she did tick me off a little bit. And I ain't gonna tell you what I told her after she told me that. I was younger, so just say the language was flavorful. But I'm thinking, why the fuck would that be important as to how good of a mate a guy is or a man is? So a man can't build a fucking house with his hands means that he's not a good man. Or man can't, redo your fucking bathroom or your kitchen. That means he's not a good man. He's not worth, being with you. I mean, that even sound like a bunch of bullshit. Don't it? Because a man can't do that. Look, if I'm with a woman, if we're married, and she says, just do the bathroom, I'm not going to do it. Shit. No, not me. And I'm going to be honest with you, even if I did know how to do it with my hands, I wouldn't do that shit. Too much work. Fuck that. So, as long as I'm willing to pay someone to come in and do the work, that's what's important. As long as the work get done, who gives a fuck who does it? As long as it get done, that's what's important. As long as I see to the work being done, that's what's important. But a lot of women lose their way. No. You got to do it. Why you can't do it? We can save money. But you're really not saving that much money, really. Not worth it to me. If you for example, you remodel the bathroom. After you buy the materials, supplies and all that shit that you need to do that, I would rather pay somebody to come in and do, lay the towel and do all that shit than me working. That's just, I don't think that's being lazy. It's just that I don't want to do that shit. I just have no desire to do it. So, and that's just not me. It's just a lot of guys in today's society. I'm talking about guys that are my age and guys that are younger. Definitely not younger than me. These millennials and Generation X and Y's and Z's, damn sure ain't. They barely know how to change oil, some of them. So you can forget about getting any of them. Sure enough. But I think that the important thing is, like I said, it doesn't take a real man to do the work. It takes a real man to see that the work gets done. That's what's important. So ladies, remember that. Remember that. That's what's important. And ladies, stop putting your man down because he's not handy. Stop doing that shit. A lot of women do that today. In relationships and marriages, doesn't matter. Different races. All races do it. Putting men down because they can't do labor-intensive work. Oh, you can't do nothing. You ain't shit. You're not like my father. Whereas you're not like my uncles. Some of you are so bold, you even say, you're not like my ex. That's bullshit. And that's disrespectful as well. Just because a guy can't use his hands does not make him less of a man. Now, like I said before, being able to use your hands, guys, if you can use your hands, good for you. Good for you. If you can towel, if you can build a birdhouse, if you can do plumbing, you can do a little air conditioning work, good for you. Give that man a damn cookie. I'm not putting you down. Good for you. I admire you, really. Really, I do. No joke. Seriously, I admire you. But you're not a bigger man than I am because you know how to do that. Don't get it twisted. You're not a better man than me because you know how to lay a damn towel or cut a damn cabinet. Fuck that. You ain't no better man than me. And ladies, same shit. Just because a man know how to do carpentry work don't mean he a better man than someone who doesn't know how to do carpentry work. And I'll tell you a secret, ladies. Most men in today's society is not handy. It's not handy. And I'm talking about just the simple shit. I'm not talking about carpentry or laying tile or plastering. I'm talking about the simple shit like changing oil. You know, a lot of guys don't know how to even change oil in the car. You know, a lot of guys couldn't even change oil in a lawnmower or change the blade on a lawnmower. You know, simple shit. A lot of guys couldn't even do that in today's society. Because like I said before, a lot of guys today are more educated. So they put down the labor-intensive work, the saws, and the T-squares, the toolboxes and shit. They put all that shit down for computers, you know, and using their minds more than their hands. Some work get done, fuck it, they'll pay somebody. That's me. I admit it. That's me. Work need to be done, I'll see that it gets done. I'll pay someone to do the work. Don't mind to pay someone to do the work because I ain't doing it. Even if I knew how to do it, fuck that. Too much work, too much trouble. I just pay somebody to do it. That's the key. You know, a real man, doesn't matter if he knows how to do the work or not. That doesn't make him a real man. What makes him a real man, that he sees that the work get done. That's what's important. That's what's important. So ladies, the next time that you need some work done around the house, you know, you need some work done in your car, or you just need some work done, period, and you ask your boyfriend or your husband and they don't know how to do it, don't put them down. Don't put them down. That's not right. And that's disrespectful. And if we, I'll tell you, if it's me, you might get your feelings hurt. Stop putting men down because they're not handy with their hands. All men are not handy with their hands. Doesn't make them less of a man. Just makes them a different man. That's all. We're all different. Some shit I can do that a guy working with their hands can't do. But doesn't make him less of a man because he can't do what I can do. Because I'm more educated. No, that doesn't make him less of a man at all. Just like it doesn't make me less of a man that I can't do the more labor-intensive shit like he do. So ladies, remember that. The next time you're looking for a potential mate, or the next time you fucking with your husband to fix some shit around the house that you know he can't fix. I'm going to tell you something. For you single women out there, you're looking for guys who can work with their hands and making it a requirement that he knows how to work with his hands, you might be looking for a long time. You might be out of luck, actually. That's like looking for the Holy Grail and shit. But you'd be surprised how many women out there, if a guy does not know how to work with his hands, they disqualify him. He's not a good mate. He's not a good mate. You believe that shit? I've heard this. I've heard this with my own ears. I'm not bullshitting you. Women who find out that guys are not good with their hands, they translate it as being not good men, not good mates. It's some bullshit. So like I said, women, lower your standards. All guys are not good with their hands. And that's fine. That's fine. The important thing is, if a guy's not good with his hands, if a guy's not able to remodel your kitchen, if a guy is not able to remodel your bathroom, if a guy's not able to redo the fucking roof, that's fine. That's fine. As long as he gets someone who can do it. If he gets someone to do the work, that's all that's important. Now, if he doesn't, then you have a right to complain. Then you have a right to gripe. But if he does get someone who he can't do it, but he gets someone who can do it, who gives a fuck? Gives a fuck who does the work, as long as it gets done. So ladies, the next time you're on your man or your boyfriend doing some work, and he don't do it, but he gets someone to do it, he spends money, but he gets the work done, and you still complain. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Because you still have a good man. He can't do it, but he's seen that it gets done. That's what's all important. That's the only important thing that matters. Not who does it. As long as it's getting done. That's all that matters. So ladies, no, all men are not handy with their hands, including myself. I admit it. I'm not handy with my hands. And even if I was, I wouldn't be doing a lot of shit. Fuck that. For what? Sweaty and working my ass shit. Fuck that. I'd write a check. Shit. Fuck that. I'd write a check and be glad to do it. Doesn't make me less of a man. I'm seeing that it gets done. That's what's all important. So ladies, the next time you're looking for a mate, have some slack. If he doesn't know how to work with his hands, But if he's willing to get someone to do it, and he knows that the work needs to be done, and he's willing to get someone to do it, that's okay. Ladies, if you're already married and you keep fucking with your husband because if some work needed to be done and he didn't do it, but he got somebody else to do it, he fuck gives a damn who did it. He saw the work being done. That's what's important. So shut the fuck up. Stop fucking with your husband. He's a good guy. He's seen a need and he addressed it. And that's the only thing that matters. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode of the X and Y Show. Now, remember that I am available on a lot of listening, well, not a lot, but some listening platforms that you might be more comfortable with, so be sure to take advantage of them. I'm on TuneIn, I'm on iTunes, I'm on Stitcher, I'm on Blueberry, and I'm on Google Play. I'm a part of various social media. I'm on Tumblr, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Now you can find all of that on my website, which is www.thexyshow.com. Again, www.thexyshow.com. You can find everything on there, my social media, my listening platforms, everything. As well as the X and Y store. You can buy you a shirt or a coffee mug, and I got some other things coming down the pipe, so stay tuned. But you can show everyone that you are a true X and Y'er. Send me a picture, and I will definitely post it on my IG account. And also, there's a place you can leave a comment for any potential episodes that you would like me to address or talk about on the X and Y Show. Any topic matter that you would like me to kind of speak on, send me a note. Or also any constructive criticism or just some kudos or whatever you want to say. Just talk to me. That's on the X and Y Show. That's on my website as well. So take advantage of that. Again, it's www.thexyshow.com. You can find everything there. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode of the X and Y Show, and I will definitely see you next week. And always remember, you cannot have X and Y. Oh shit, I'm fucking up. See, y'all got me mad. You know, women, y'all got me mad because I don't work with my hands, and women been fucking with me and got me all riled up and shit and forgetting my line. Let me start over. That concludes the X and Y Show, and remember, you cannot have love without X and Y. Happy Cinco de Mayo, and I will see you next week. Later.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.